I'm Representative Gerry Pollet. Welcome to my first recorded video message of the 2024 legislative session. Today we're going to be talking about free community college and special education, which is causing a crisis in funding for our school districts. Last year, I proposed legislation to end what I call an unconscionable and unconstitutional cap on how many children with disabilities are funded for their special education services in each school district. That cap is causing our school districts to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in levy money, which means they can't provide art education or librarians and other enhancements to basic education because they're spending it on fundamental basic education for the students who the state should be paying for. Last year, we were able to add $417 million to the biennial budget for special education. But unfortunately, the state Senate refused to agree to remove the cap. So to remove the cap entirely this year, over the course of the last 10 months, I've been in discussions with the state Senate in regard to the reasons they refuse to go along with the House in removing the cap on special education. And we're organizing PTAs and school districts all over the state of Washington in support of ending the cap. I've introduced legislation with School Superintendent Chris Reichel to eliminate the cap and to report on how many children have different types of disabilities in each district, to show the Senate and assure them that parents aren't just asking for their children to be labeled as requiring special education. These are real disabilities ranging from being unable to read due to dyslexia to children who cannot speak without a speech pathologist's help, or are on the autism spectrum and need a half-time or full-time aid to be participants in the classroom. So we've got real needs, and that's our approach, is to show what is the data? Why are so many children requiring special ed services above 15% of a district? Well, we know autism is on the rise. We know that the incidence of children with developmental disabilities amongst certain populations is on the rise. And we know from legislation I passed a few years ago that nearly 20% of our children are unable to read in kindergarten through second grade because of disabilities associated with dyslexia. So we have a justification for increasing and getting rid of this cap, and we hope the Senate will agree with Superintendent Reichel and my legislation this year. If every high school student in the state of Washington knows that they have the guaranteed commitment of the state that they can go to college tuition-free, not have to take out massive student loan debts, and that they can stay in their community, and if they need to raise a child, or if they need to be in their community to work or live with their parents, they have that opportunity guaranteed by the state to attend community college and technical college for an AA degree or workforce credentials for free. That is a game changer. We call it the Washington Promise. And we've introduced it with a lot of co-sponsors. I've really been working on it in particular with Representative Julia Reed from next door in the 36th District, and Representative Steve Bergquist from the 11th District, Renton. Of course, Seattle has a Seattle Promise already for free community college for every high school graduate, which is based on legislation I developed with former state senator and now our U.S. Congresswoman, Pramila Jayapal and David Frocht in 2016. The Seattle Promise built on that, and now we'd like to go statewide so every student has the opportunity to change the course of not only their future, but their family's future with a college degree or workforce credential, might be an apprenticeship, might be in building trades, might be in healthcare. I hope many of them will go into education. And it's a game changer to have free community college, which with a Washington promise. In other states, we've seen high school graduation rates literally jump 10 to 15% from having a promise program, and the enrollment in community colleges grow 25%. Our bill makes sure that not only does a student know they can go to community college for free, but we provide the necessary supports that have worked in other places around the United States to ensure that first-generation students who aren't familiar, might not have the skills from high school to succeed in college, get those skills, get the advising, get the supports necessary to not only walk in the front door of the school and enroll, but to walk out onto the field and shake the president's hand with their workforce credential or degree in 2 or 3 years. That's what's so different about this. It's not only free tuition, but it's the proven evidence-based supports that we know can change the community college graduation rate from about 24% to 50% or more in 3 years. And that's the success of promise programs in New York, Ohio, and other states that wrap together tuition and the other supports. Might be childcare that a parent may need. It might be that they need financial advising so that they don't go deep into debt. Or it might be study skills. We're going to propose phasing in the Washington Promise, and my colleague, Representative Bergquist from Renton, is offering step 1 in a different bill with what we call the free 13th year promise. So the first year of community college would be paid for by the state, and then we would expand it with the Washington Promise to 2 full years, or however long it takes, up to 4 to 6 years to get your degree if you're working part-time. Please remember that you can email my office at gerry.pollet@leg.wa.gov about any bill, but you can also meet with me during my drop-in discussion times on Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11. Just email us, we'll send you a Zoom link. So please don't hesitate to join me for my drop-in discussions on Saturday mornings.